Hello everybody, welcome to Chai Chai's Tea Club. Here today I'm going to present the teas that we selected for the fall subscription club. Every quarter we send a variety of teas that we selected and sourced to accompany the season. And there still are some packs left, so if you find this interesting and you'd like to try the teas and join the club, in the video you'll find the links. So the first tea I'm going to talk about is the tea I already started brewing here. It's this wonderful green tea. You can see it's very tippy, lots of white buds, hairy buds. It's Duyun Maojian from Guizhou province. I just steeped the leaves. This is the first steeping. Very bright, very green, very fresh. This tea is fantastic. It's from the very first days of spring. You can tell by the size of the buds, the leaf, the smell, the aroma, the delicate nature of the tea. In China, green teas are sought after. One of the main factors in determining quality is the day of the picking and the pluck. The earlier, the more prized they are. In winter the teas are hibernating, and when spring arrives and the first buds are flushing and coming out, that first pick is the real prize of the spring. It has all that energy, that bursting energy of creativity of spring and the new year. So especially if you look at tea from a holistic perspective, or as plant medicine, or you're looking for the health benefits of tea, all organic tea is wonderful. But if we were talking about green tea, you want from the earliest days of the harvest. So the term that's used for these teas is Mingxian or Preqing Ming. The Mingxian teas are teas that were plucked before the Mingxian festival, which is the tomb sweeping festival. So here we are celebrating autumn now, and it's a time to celebrate the deceased and our family members here. And I thought it was also nice to choose a tea that was selected before this tomb sweeping holiday, which is the holiday that they clean the tombs and put new flowers. But I selected this tea for the club for another reason, and that's fall. I don't really associate fall with green tea, and this tea, as soon as I noticed its aroma, the very first thing that came to me was chocolate. It's very nutty and chocolatey even. And that's really rare to find in a green tea. And for me, its profile was kind of nice for the fall, for all these reasons. This when you brew this tea, you'll notice that the leaves are very small. You want to visually, you want to pick more than you think, because it's so light. Each leaf is really so light. I recommend brewing this tea with about 75 to 80 degree water. It's actually, I'll show it to you again. It actually can be easily confused with Bilochun. Bilochun is very similarly processed and plucked and everything, but it's from Jiangsu province. It's a different tea, and I really hope you enjoy this lovely green tea. I'm going to brew another one and talk about the next tea. So these are wonderful. I'll open it and you see. These are very cute mandarins, from Xinhui, 2020. It's from this year, as was the green tea, and it's stuffed with pu'er tea. So here, you know, you would take off the top, and here you have the tea inside. And this particular one, I think, is extra autumn and Halloweenish. As you can see, it has a cute little face. This cute little face isn't just a cute little face, it has a practical reason. So there's different ways of brewing this tea. One, especially if you're alone and you don't want to make many steepings, it's a lot of tea. I mean, it weighs, I don't know, about 15 grams perhaps. It's a lot of tea maybe for a single person. You could just empty out half of the contents and just break a bit of the shell and the rind, and break it a bit and steep it all together. Or if you want to do more steepings, you could brew it. Or if you're more people, which I think would be really nice to share a tea that's so cute as this with more people, and it handles many steepings. In that case, you would brew the whole thing. You could brew it in any vessel about this size, or if you wanted to, you could even brew it in glass. Glass is not optimal for teas that require boiling water, but being a visual tea, it's an option you could choose to do. So when you do that, you add the water over it, like you pour the water inside, and actually it's gonna come out the eyes and the mouth infused, right? You'll see the stream of tinted tea blending with the water as it steeps. It's very nice, very visual, as the color seeps out of the holes, perforations. So, well, there's a few things I want to say about this tea. One is it became very popular some years back, but the Xinhui orange is actually a protected, what would we say, like a protected product, in a famous product in China that goes back to at least the Ming Dynasty, as is pu'er, right? Two very special, revered products that can be combined. But in traditional Chinese medicine, this mandarin from Xinhui is famous for being really good for a sore throat, and for a cough, and for digestive properties. And we know, of course, shou pu'er is also really good for digestion and many other things. So it's a very healthy tea. You know, here at Chai Chai, we really like pure tea, and are not big fans of aromatized tea unless it's traditionally aromatized tea with real flowers, or there's some traditional teas that are aromatized, and I think that's fine and nice, but there are relatively few, and for me, there's really the teas, pure teas, already have such a wide range of nuances and of aroma, flavor, that there's really no need to add anything to them. But that said, this is an interesting combination. It just goes to show how you really don't need to perfume anything. Already within the culture, the traditional culture, there's a culture of mixing things and natural things. And so these mandarins were picked, and they were emptied of the fruit. They were dried, and then they were filled with the Yunnan shou pu'er. In this case, you'll find it's quite small leaf and really nice, very creamy, and then dried again, about 2 weeks. So in that process, the pu'er sucked juice from the shell and impregnated its oils, and then has been sitting. You could age this tea, and it would be really nice too. But it's ready to drink now, and I think it's fun. I think it's a fun tea to take out now for Halloween and share with people. and the tea inside is really really nice as well. Um, what else can I say about it? Well, of course, that the tea is from Zhenyuan in Port Province, 2020. Yeah, so I hope you really enjoy that tea. And another one we have here is a Dragon Ball. A Dragon Ball of it's white tea. I'm going to take it out of the Dragon Ball so you can see. And this Dragon Ball you can see it has some buds, but not too many. It's a lot of darker leaf. It's from Fuding. Fuding is the birthplace of white tea, and Fuding, there's 4 qualities of white tea. The top grade is Silver Needles by Hao Yinzhen. The second quality is Baimudan, white peony. The third is Gongmei. And this 4th quality is this one, Shoumei. Now, it's clearly inferior quality. Quality is based on how many buds it has with white tea. So, Shoumei is not about the buds, right? Silver Needles is about the buds. But something I was hinting at before when I spoke about the delicateness of the early spring green tea. You know, some people might not appreciate the delicacy of early spring tea. They might prefer teas, green tea from the second week of harvest more, where the tea is less delicate, it can be roasted a little bit more flavor can be brought out. Likewise with white tea, if you are newer to tea, or if your taste is that you just like stronger flavors, but if you're newer to tea and you still haven't really developed a palate for such delicate teas, the Silver Needles is a very light and sweet tea. It's heavenly, but it can taste like water to somebody who maybe is just turning from coffee to tea, or doesn't tend to drink tea. They might not be impressed at all with such a fine tea, and so it kind of gets lost on them. A tea like Shoumei is really wonderful because it has a lot of leaf. It's been more oxidized. It actually has a lot of flavor, and it's very sweet. So, you know, I like to remind people that quality doesn't mean you're going to like it the most. You know, the highest quality teas, you have to try them and you have to get to be able to appreciate them. But this tea is a lesser quality and it's really, really, really nice, very flavorful. There's different ways to brew it. You could brew it very short steepings, like we're talking about a question of seconds, in which case it will be a more delicate light tea and seem like a higher grade than it is. If you steep it longer, it will become very full-bodied. It'll actually be closer to Hongcha. Hongcha is what in Chinese is called Chinese red tea, which we call incorrectly black tea in the West. So this type of white tea, if you steep it longer, it will actually resemble more Chinese red tea or Western black tea. I do recommend trying it like that, but personally I think the best way to brew it is start light, enjoy the delicateness. It will handle many, many, many steepings, as will that Shopur. Many, many, many steepings, especially if you're doing them really short. Once you start to do longer ones, if you do it too soon, you will find more astringency. It's a matter of getting the balance, but yeah, you could do like 10 shorter steepings and then start to move into a little bit longer. I'm being vague with time of the steepings because it depends on obviously how much water you have. But if you chose like to do it in a shibori dashi like this, for example, which by the way is made by Petr Novak, you put it in about, for that quantity of water, it's about 150 milliliters. You know, you could do like 10 steepings where you're doing, question of seconds, 3 seconds, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 seconds, right? And you do about 10 steepings where you increasingly getting longer. And then if you want, leave it for a minute and a half. And after all that, and you'll see how it starts to get darker and sweet, really sweet. And keeping up with the fall theme of Halloween and our ancestors in this time of year, this tea is Chomei, means longevity's eyebrows. So I think it's a really beautiful name. That wisdom, right, that comes with age, longevity's eyebrows, right? You see the wise sage and the old man, or with the long wispy eyebrows. Anyway, I hope you really enjoy these Dragon Balls. More teas. Let me put some more. I love this green tea. Show you what the leaves look like right now. It's not really showing you too well. I'll show you after I steep it. Okay, next tea to talk to you about. This one. This is a fantastic wild Shangpur from Vietnam. It's really fantastic. It's from Lao Sai, so it's near the Chinese border. We call this type of pu'er tea border tea. Border tea can have a pejorative ring to it in China, because it's referred to as something inferior, as in it's not from Yunnan, so it's not real pu'er. And in fact, it's an issue where border tea is looked down upon because it can be imported by Yunnan tea makers and sold as a famous tea, like as a counterfeit. Yeah. So tea. Yunnan is the birthplace of tea and pu'er tea, and but it's not just Yunnan. It is that the borderlands of Laos and Thailand and Vietnam and Myanmar all have old tea trees, and this is a wonderful Shangpur. So it's not it hasn't been fermented. And when we say that it can be pejorative, it's because of the issue that it can be sold as pu'er, but it's not really from Yunnan, and so there could be different. It can be shady, right? But when it's what we're talking about is what it is. This is a tea from old trees on these borders in Vietnam that. Just marvelous when you just drink it. You don't have to compare it to something else, or the problem is when it's sold as something else. Yeah, so I think this tea is fabulous, but one of the best things about it that I really want to share with you is how to brew it. You can brew it in many ways. Yeah, I'm not being dogmatic about it, but it offers the opportunity to drink a really nice bowl tea. So for bowl tea, you just want to take, a couple of leaves. These leaves are really nice and long. So it's mao cha. Yeah, mao cha is unfinished tea. Mao cha, it's unfinished because in the pour processing, the final step is to press. Now, if you don't press it, the leaves stay whole and unpressed, and that's what we call mao cha. Now, mao cha, when the leaves are so beautiful from such old trees and grown wild as this is, there's nothing pejorative about being unfinished and unpressed, because the leaves aren't broken. You see that their whole beauty and their integrity of leaf is remains intact. And so it's a wonderful tea to just put a few whole leaves in the bowl and brew as bold tea. So actually, I'm gonna take this out for a second. And so with bold tea, like I said, you would just want to put a few leaves in the bowl. That's actually a generous amount. And you this type of brewing is a brewing that's ideal for meditation or for just sitting with your bowl and enjoying it. It's not a brewing method of precision. Sorry. It's just about connecting with tea and yourself and your breathing, and watching the leaves unfurl. They're so big and beautiful, and I like to remember, these leaves are kind of also hibernating, waiting for this moment to be rehydrated, and spend some time steeping numerous bowls just in silence, and cultivating this practice of drinking tea meditatively, which I recommend. As you do it more, you'll see for yourself reasons why it's wonderful to cultivate this practice of drinking tea meditatively. But for me, bold tea is fantastic, and this type of tea is one of many teas that you can do bold tea, because you can't do bold tea with anything. You can't just take a broken Assam leaf and put it in a bowl. It's going to oversteep and not be nice. Big leaves like this fall to the bottom when they're hydrated and don't get in your mouth, and they're beautiful to watch open, and the flavor is sweet. It comes from old trees, old poor trees. Old trees are, like my tea master says, old trees are like old grandmothers. Yeah, they're gentle and they're sweet. So this type of tea you can leave there for a long time as you just relax and enjoy it, and it's not going to get bitter on you. Shangpur tends to have a bitter sweetness to it. We know bitter is a really nice quality for our health, for our kidneys, and bitter herbs are all very healthy. Tea is a bitter herb. Its processing changes that. This tea, though, as far as Shangpur goes, it's not very bitter because of its the old trees that it comes from. It was picked and processed by Red Zhao community. It's indigenous people. You might not know that both in Yunnan and the borderlands there are many Aboriginal peoples who have been taking care of that land and venerating tea as a plant and plant medicine. And so this tea was made by the Red Zhao Aboriginals. I hope you enjoy it. The next tea we have sent out for fall 2020 is this fantastic oolong. You can tell by the color, it's a roasted oolong, bald roasted oolong. It's actually also picked and processed by native people, but this time from Taiwan, from Shilai Shan, and it's from the Siddiq people. It's Chin varietal, tender heart, and it's one of my favorite oolongs. It's a oolong that I bought. It's from 2017. I bought it in 2017. I loved it. I bought a lot of it and decided to keep it and to age it. And this fall, as I was taking it out, because I love to drink this type of oolong, this roasted, traditional charcoal roasted oolong in the fall and the winter. As I took it out for the first time, I thought, wow, I'd like to share this now with the community. This is an important time. I love this tea, and I want to share it and share it with the tea club subscribers, and yeah, I just really, it's like my favorite. It's definitely my favorite roasted oolong that I discovered in the last few years. So traditional charcoal roast is a very slow process, and the roast is much deeper and yet gentler than oven roasted, which is more predominant today. It's not a commercial tea at all. You just won't find this tea easily at all, and I think it's really cozy. It brings you close to the fireplace when there's no fireplace, and it's a tea you can have at night perfectly well. It's not overstimulating, and the roast is just warms you up. The aroma, very nutty and mineral at the same time, but more nutty. And I love it. I hope you do too. And the last tea I want to present is the one. So we have two subscriber options. One is every 3 months we send you 75 euros worth of tea, and the other subscription is double that, 150. And so for the 150 euro subscription, we always add more tea, the same teas, more of it, and also at least one tea that's not included in the 75 euro subscription. I'd just like to show this one and talk about it. It's very special. It's a 2016 Zhengyang Wuyi Cliff Tea. So Wuyi Cliff Tea, Wuyi is the birthplace of oolong tea, and this tea is Zhengyang, which means it's from the inside of the park, the protected area of the park. That's what we want when we drink Wuyi tea. We really want the tea with that terroir of inside the park. The reason why Wuyi tea is famous is because of that land and that terroir, and that national park is just really amazing. It's pristine, and the land is volcanic, and the tea that grows among the cliffs and the valleys is just out of this world. And not so much the tea on the edge and the tea in the general region that still carries the name Wuyi. The terroir is quite different, and they tend to make up for it by over roasting. This tea you'll find is nicely roasted, really mineral, but it's really an interesting tea because it's the varietal is called 105. 105 is a number. Many teas have a varietal number, either because in the scientific stations where they study tea and classify tea, every variety gets a number. But this variety actually has a number. It's a hybrid that was made by a local Wuyi farmer. But the funny thing is, it's a hybrid of two varietals that are not from Wuyi. Actually, they're from Anxi. Anxi, you might know, Anxi is famous for Tikuanying. And so he took Tikuanying, and he took Huangyingui, which is golden osmanthus, and he crossed them. It's actually, basically you could say it's a 3/4 golden osmanthus and 1/4 Tikuanying. So it's Anxi, and he made it. He planted it in Wuyi, so it's a Wuyi tea. It's from the inside of the park. But its origins are from Anxi, and you wouldn't know this drinking it. It's not like it's going to resemble an Anxi tea, and I think that's the whole process of discovery for me. It was really wonderful to notice that how terroir is the most important thing. So if you take a Wuyi varietal, as they do, plant it somewhere else, it's not the same. It's just not the same. There's nothing like Wuyi tea from Wuyi, and it's nice to see the opposite. Take a tea that's not from Wuyi, bring it to Wuyi, and watch. This is where you see the terroir, how strong it is. So that's a fantastic tea. Yeah, I'd love to share it with all of you, maybe over a tea ceremony sometime. For those of you who are here in Barcelona, we can do that when we're allowed to do that. I want to say that both oolong teas, for me, they're such high quality that if you have